Hi, loves, it's Elle, and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that I get asked a lot about, which is dehydrated skin, but yet is oily. So we're going to talk about what it is, how to address it, and some products I think might work for you. So before we get started, hit the subscribe button, share this video with somebody you think might like it, and let's do it. All right, so as an esthetician, I do get this skin type, skin condition fairly often. So let's start with the basics. I have my little notes here that I've written out. So tons of people deal with dehydrated, oily skin. Some of the signs that you might have dehydrated, oily skin is that the top layer of your skin or the surface of your skin feels dry and flaky, but yet there is another on top of it layer of oil. So dehydrated skin is lacking water, and oily skin is lacking oil, as the name would lead you to think. So when your skin is dehydrated, it can feel, like I said, flaky, it can feel itchy, it can feel sensitive. Now, dehydrated skin is a skin condition, it is not a skin type. Skin type is combination dry, oily. When you're dehydrated, your overall skin tone can look quite a bit dull, so not as bright as it used to be. Now, we know what an oily skin can look like. Obviously, it's very shiny, whether it's just in the middle or all over. Many times in this skin type have acne, and that is a very hard combination to treat. Reason being is because it's a little tri-folded. There are a lot of things that you do in your life as far as lifestyle that really do contribute to this type of skin conditions and skin, concerns, I guess I should call them. We know that alcohol dehydrates the body, and so if you are an excessive alcohol drinker, that can lead to dehydration on the skin as well as the full body. High sugar intake, if you have any sensitivity to dairy, that can also work against you when you're dealing with this. But also, when you're dealing with oily skin, is that your oil on your skin is overproducing because it is lacking oil. And then when you're getting dehydrated, it is dry and flaky because it is lacking that water like we talked about. So you have to find the happy balance between adding extra hydration into your routine as well as adding in some healthy oil into your routine. Now, the dehydration skin can actually be more easily, I would say, rectified than an oily skin type. Dehydrated skin is usually rectified by, obviously, like we said, changing your lifestyle, eating healthier foods, more exercise, lots of water. Now again, hydrating outside will obviously hydrate the whole body and do lots of great things, flush toxins, all that good stuff. Cutting back on alcohol, cutting back on sugary foods, but as well as making sure that you're using the right products for dehydrated skin concerns. So you want to make sure that you're not using harsh astringents. So no toners that have super high levels of like salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide, like super high levels, or things that have high levels of drying alcohols on the skin, as well as really harsh cleansers, right? You want to make sure that you're using very gentle cleansers. You also want to make sure that you are exfoliating, not too much, but just the right amount, about 1 to 3 times a week. It depends on your skin. And you also want to make sure that you're not overusing any type of cleansing brush that has like the bristles on it, because that can really aggravate the skin and really exacerbate dehydration as well as oiliness, all right? There's also a lot of people that are using harsh scrubs. Literally every single day, people are using manual scrubs on their face, and that is going to lead to overall oil production or over oil production, as well as completely stripping the skin and leading to dehydration, tightness. Fine lines and wrinkles will be more apparent. Really making sure you see in your product, especially fragrance, higher up on the level, especially synthetic fragrances, or oils that are fragrant oils. I have a whole video on it. I will link it below, which oils are fragrant oils and which ones are not fragrant oils and safe to use on the skin. And then honestly, not using SPF. I know a lot of people with oily skin do not use an SPF, which I understand, and a lot of them don't even use an oil. I understand the thought process, but sun damage is so detrimental to our skin in any capacity, but especially dehydration. So making sure that you're using an SPF on a daily is very important. You also don't want to overuse clay masks when you guys are in this skin condition or skin type. You want to make sure that you're using nurturing masks, masks that either have a very low amount of like glycolic acid in them. Those are going to be the ways to go, but overusing daily use of masks and scrubs and astringent toners and all of that stuff is very aggressive for the skin and exacerbates these two types of skin concerns and conditions. Also, going through life, menopause is a big culprit of dehydrated and oily skin. So making sure that you are talking to your doctor about that or taking the hormone elixir from osmosis will really help balance those hormones out and hopefully take care of a portion of your dehydrated and oily skin. Dehydration in the skin is something that usually is inherent, like is basically something we have done to the skin, or it's a lifestyle or something of that nature, over sun exposure, over exfoliation, that type of a thing, right? But oily skin, unfortunately, happens to it happens to be on average more of a genetic thing or something that's inherently in our body that we just have, you know, oily skin, okay? But there is a way to balance them all out to make sure that the skin is getting what it needs. First of all, when you wash your skin, I'm a big proponent of double cleansing in the evening, making sure you get that SPF off, but also doing it with a gentle form of cleansing. So for example, I would recommend some sort of cleansing oil or cleansing balm. Okay, now it's going to be hard for me to give you guys exact product recommendations, and I'm just speaking from a professional point of view. I don't know your skin, I don't know what's going on with you, so I need you guys to also be the detectives with me and figure out what is best for your skin, but these are going to be general rules. There are a lot of products out there that I've talked about that would be great for this, that have no fragrance in them, but that is a great place to start, is a double cleanse, whether you're cleansing with your milky cleanser first 2 times, or you're using an oil cleanser and then obviously a regular cleanser. Your most skin concerns or most skin conditions or skin types will benefit from some cleanser that uses the word milky, gentle, soothing, calming, those types of cleansers. Foaming cleansers are out there on the market. Of course, we have our exfoliating cleansers, but they really should be reserved for just a few times a week if you really absolutely need them. Toners and essences. Now, you know my stance on toners for people that have really normal skin. It's not necessary anymore, but with somebody that has a skin condition like this, toners might be super important. Maybe something that has a really low amount of glycolic acid would be fantastic. And this can be something over the counter. It does not have to be expensive. Look at the Inky List, look at the Ordinary for their toner, but look at where those acids fall on the ingredient list. You want them to be just a touch down, maybe the 3rd or 4th ingredient. Red makes a beautiful toner that is very gentle for the skin. Then going in with some form of hydrating essence or hydrating mist. I will never get off my soapbox for the proponency of using an essence. Essences allow the skin to be able to receive anything else that you put on it. It is also a water magnet, so it's going to really prep that skin and take care of that dehydration. So I've done a whole video on essences too. You guys can just put an essence into my channel and they will all pop up. There are so many out there, but it doesn't have to be one that you kind of just pat into the skin. There can also be mists. Hydrating mist. Just make sure that it has no alcohol in them, no high fragrance, no synthetic fragrances in them. But while your skin is wet, you want to apply your serums. Beta-glucan is a fantastic option for this skin condition or skin type. Hydrating vitamin C's. I just brought up the new one from You to the People or Biossance vitamin C, or I'm sure Inky List or The Ordinary has a hydrating vitamin C, and that'll be for the day, obviously. And then I would love for you guys to check out a product line called Skin Fix. Skin Fix has been approved by the National Eczema Foundation, and they have nothing in there that's going to bother your skin. It is actually full of ceramides, and it's a beautiful, beautiful skin line if you have these concerns. I love their moisturizers. I love their eye creams. Their serums are really gentle, all about hydration, all about balancing that water and oil in the skin. Now, when we talk about adding oils in, I would recommend them to be at night. I would recommend you to use a non-fragrant CBD oil or some form of, even rosehip oil is fine, jojoba oil, avocado oil, or go watch that video of oils that I've done and it'll break down a few different ones for you. But take your moisturizer, take a few drops of your oil and work that into the skin. And of course, you want to make sure that if you are using a retinol at night and you are dealing with this type of skin we're talking about, is to really back off the retin A, back off any kind of harsh vitamin A that you're working with, and bring it down into a little bit more of a gentle retinol until you can rebuild that barrier, until that skin is no longer flaky and weird and doing things that it shouldn't be doing. And then you can go back up into something a little bit more on the aggressive side. I don't know a better word than that. So I hope that this makes sense. It's very important about balancing that oil and that water in the skin. And it's also very important to think about your lifestyle and how your lifestyle is contributing to your overall skin health. Especially if you live somewhere like me, I'm in Colorado. That sun is so aggressive. I make sure I go out in a hat most of the time. I have sunscreen slathered all over, and I really make sure that I'm very much looking into hydration into my skin, and obviously using products that would suit that. Now, so I hope that this makes sense. It is a little bit of a difficult topic to talk about in a general setting because it really needs to be looked at by a professional. Really, honestly, if you can, where you live, go see an esthetician and just get a very nice, easy facial every 4 to 5 weeks if you can. Nothing super, aggressive or super pricey. You don't have to do any of that. But make sure you're getting a, care from a professional, using great at-home products, and then really looking at your lifestyle. Are you using probiotics? Digestive enzymes are fantastic. Are you on a multivitamin? Obviously, ask your doctor about all of this before. But these are really important things to think about because the skin is the largest organ on our body, and it is the last place that we come to find out what we're doing inside of our body, okay? I am a holistic skincare practitioner, so I do think of it as a whole body system and not just a topical issue. So I really want you to start looking and flipping over your products that you have at home and looking at the ingredients and seeing what is really in there. I will say, not always, but drugstore, mainstream drugstore, not necessarily all of like your Trader Joe's or your Whole Foods or your natural grocer things. They have a lot more options, I would say, when it comes to this topic I'm talking about. But your typical skincare from a regular drugstore. So we're talking about L'Oreal, we're talking about, I don't want to call them out, but you know what I'm talking about. Those ingredients I really need you to look at. I really want you to look and see if there are harsh alcohols in there, if there is a harsh form of witch hazel, if it's really high up than that, if there is a really artificial fragrances high up, if there are PEGs in there. I just really want you to start looking at the ingredients and really understanding. It doesn't have to be natural or anything like that, okay? It just needs to, you need to look at the ingredient list and really hone in on what it is. And what is in your products. It's really time to learn about what is in your products. And I wish it was a little bit more of a clear answer, like do A, B, C, and D, to do it. It's dependent on your skin. Another brand that's great to look at is Paula's Choice. Paula's Choice products are formulated pH, formulated. She has a great hold on acne. So if that's an issue for you, go check out Paula's Choice and see what their recommendations are for that. So those are good places to start for this type of skin. So if you have any questions, I will try my best to answer them in the description box. I do one-on-one consultations over Zoom, and I obviously have a skin studio here in Colorado, so you are more than welcome to come see me in Colorado. You can find me at elleary.com, and Skin by Elle will be at the top. So thank you all so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Bye, loves.